need a high-end designer or a lot of money to get a luxe look. Be your own interior designer.
This is Affordable Interior Design, the podcast.
Here's your host, Betsy Helmuth.
All right, here we go. Penny is writing me all the way from the UK. She says, Betsy, I love listening to your podcast. I've discovered it recently and I've almost caught up with all the older episodes. They've really inspired me. My question is how to freshen up my small downstairs shower room without changing the floors or the tiles. The bathroom is off the hallway. We are hoping to renovate it at some point in the future, but it's not in the plans for now. For the rest of the house, we've gone for a scandi style, so I'm keen to continue with that. I would like the bathroom to feel clean and fresh. I was thinking of maybe changing the mirror, some plants. Looking forward to your suggestions. Thank you. Okay, so we're looking to freshen, brighten, make more inviting this bathroom without doing any renovation, it sounds like. Now, this bathroom has floor-to-ceiling tile with a small banded border in the middle, like maybe 2 inches high, that has variations of like a sage green to an emerald green to like a seafoam. So kind of an ombre repeat around the middle of the bathroom. And then at the top, it has a really skinny, maybe 1/2 inch border that looks like it's just that darker emerald. It has a glass shower. It has a white toilet, a white sink. One thing that I think would make a huge difference is right now it has a tiny circular mirror. By tiny, I'm thinking this is like 16 inches in diameter. Tiny circular mirror floating above the basin. And I think it's ill-fitting, and I think you have to be just the right height to actually see yourself while you brush your teeth or apply your makeup. And for me, that's just not working. So I think you need a much larger mirror because you also have a storage cabinet above the toilet, and it's quite small as well, maybe 12 to 14 inches wide by 16 to 20 inches high. And the two things are kind of these floating small pieces above these white anchor pieces on the floor. And for me, it's redundant. It's not interesting. It's visually cluttered. So I would do a nice big mirror above the basin. I'm thinking like 18 by 36, something like that. That way people of all shapes and sizes can see themselves while they brush their teeth or apply their mascara. Do you really need this tiny storage cabinet? Because it's just not working for me. You have like a hymnus storage piece across from the toilet. So I would think about maybe utilizing that better or doing a taller piece there. I could see doing a taller piece there next to the towel warmer. That's like a true cabinet if you have room for that, because I think you'll get a lot more storage space for your buck. And then I would eliminate that little tiny cabinet above the toilet, which just looks like clutter. In terms of this artwork, it feels so random to introduce this piece of art that has a lot of red and pink with a white border and a black frame. It really doesn't go with the color scheme you've got going in here with the greens, nor does this blue bath mat or kind of faded maroon hand towel. So I'm thinking that you're really at a loss for the color palette in here, and I would first of all have it revolve around the greens. Now in a bathroom, it can be nice to have a 60-30-10 or a piece of art that has the color palette, but you're not going to have a lot of opportunity for artwork if you do the tall cabinet I'm recommending, which will give you a ton more storage and just make more sense visually. It'll also help to distribute the weight in the room because right now the shower, the vanity, and the toilet are all on one side, and you only have the towel warmer on the door on the other side. So we really need that taller cabinet to add some balance here. But I would just lean in to the ombre greens and pick a tone that's lighter to medium. I don't ever do a dark tone like the emerald because you can see every hair, every piece of lint. So I wouldn't be using that for the towels or the bath mat. But I could see like the seafoam or the lighter teal being a great option for that. And then maybe we just forego art because we have fully tiled walls and, we don't want to drill into the tile. And using 3M strips can be very hit or miss in an area that has humidity. And once I get that tall cabinet, I'm good there. And then, yeah, I think I've solved all your problems. Also, reconsider the wastebasket that is a shade of turquoise that really doesn't go with the green ombre. So, when you're playing with a color palette that has shades of one tone, which is kind of this emerald that fades down to a very light seafoam, you need to stay quite literal with that. And this shocking turquoise trash can is obviously not one of those shades, right? So it doesn't go, it's clashing. I would rather see you do a neutral, like maybe a gray, because we have so much white in here with the white cabinet, the white tiles, the white toilet, the white bathroom sink, that too much white is like white on white on white, and nothing looks truly white because, of course, they're not all going to match. They're all going to be various degrees and shades of white. So adding one more shade of white just wouldn't be my jam. I would go gray, or you could go black. There we go. I've solved all your problems. We've made it so wonderful. Penny, wasn't that easy? Wasn't that easy, clean, and fresh? A big thank you to Aton and the Embassy, who wrote our theme song. A shout out to Catherine Heller, who owns the podcast shop and is our editor extraordinaire. We also want to thank Ginny Sunasan and her team at the Savvy Podcast Agency for their help with our social, our YouTube channel, and so much more. We also want to thank Uploft, which is our parent company who supports this podcast. And lastly, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to you. Thank you so much for tuning in and for all your support.